The Missing Sodder Children vanished in flames. On Christmas Eve, 1945, a devastating fire engulfed the Sodder family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia. The family of George and Jenny Sodder, who had 10 children in total, was celebrating the holidays when tragedy struck. By morning, 5 of their children, Maurice 14, Martha 12, Louis 9, Jenny 8, and Betty 5, were missing, presumed dead in the blaze. But as time passed, strange details and inconsistencies turned a house fire into one of the most haunting unsolved mysteries in American history. Background: George Sodder was a successful businessman, an Italian immigrant who owned a trucking company. He and his wife Jenny were known in their community, and their home was a 2-story timber house on a rural road just outside Fayetteville. They were raising their large family in relative comfort, despite George's outspoken views against Italian dictator Benito Mussolini, which had made him some enemies in the local Italian community. The fire. On the night of December 24, 1945, the Sodders' home was filled with the joy of the holiday season. Most of the children stayed up late playing with toys and enjoying the celebrations. At around 12:30 a.m., Jenny Sodder was awoken by the sound of a thud on the roof followed by a rolling noise. A short time later, she noticed smoke and flames. Fire had started in George's office, rapidly consuming the house. George and Jenny, along with 4 of their children, escaped the burning house. George tried desperately to rescue the other 5 children, who had gone to bed upstairs earlier in the night. He attempted to climb the outside wall, break a window, and use a ladder, yet the ladder was missing from its usual spot. His truck, which he hoped to use to reach the upper windows, wouldn't start, despite being in good working condition the day before. In less than 45 minutes, the house was reduced to smoldering rubble. The fire department did not arrive until hours later, around 8 a.m., due to staffing shortages and the holidays. Initial conclusions: the fire department searched the ashes but found no bones, no remains, nothing to suggest that the 5 children had died in the fire. Despite this, the fire chief told the Sodders that the fire was hot enough to have cremated the bodies. The official cause of the fire was determined to be faulty wiring, though George had recently had the wiring inspected and deemed safe. The Sodders refused to accept that their children had perished. Jenny began conducting her own research. She noted that house fires rarely get hot enough to destroy all human bones. She even burned chicken bones in her oven to test the theory. Bones were always left behind. Clues and theories. In the weeks and months after the fire, strange clues began to emerge. A telephone repairman said the house's phone line had been cut, not damaged by fire. A bus driver reported seeing fireballs being thrown at the house around the time of the fire. A woman claimed to have seen the missing children peering out of a passing car while the house burned. A waitress in a nearby town said she served breakfast to 5 children matching the Sodder kids' descriptions the morning after the fire. Years later, a photo arrived in the mail addressed only to Jenny. It showed a young man who resembled an adult Louis Sodder. On the back was a cryptic note that read, "Louis Sodder. I love brother Frankie. Ill ol' boys. A 90,132 or 35. The Sodders grew convinced that their children had been kidnapped. They believed the fire was a cover-up for an abduction, possibly in retaliation for George's political views. The family erected a billboard along Route 16 offering a reward and seeking information. The billboard remained for decades, becoming a symbol of their enduring grief and search for answers. Legacy. George and Jenny Sodder spent the rest of their lives investigating the case, hiring private detectives, and following every lead, no matter how improbable. They died without ever knowing what truly happened to their children. Their surviving children continued the search for many years. The case of the missing Sodder children remains unsolved. It is a chilling blend of tragedy, mystery, and the unrelenting hope of a family who refused to believe their children vanished without a trace. To this day, the question lingers: did the children die in the fire, or did they vanish into a much darker fate?